It's your star goddess. Okay, so I want to do a video today about heaven. Heaven, heaven, heaven. Everyone's like, oh, heaven, the clouds, the angels, the pearly gates. A lot of people who are into magic and the occult and certain religions that practice magic still believe in heaven for some reason. I don't know why, but some of them do, or some form of heaven. Now, if you think about this for a second, the word heavens does not mean the clouds. Okay, it doesn't mean this place that's always bright lights and a pearly gate. It doesn't mean that. Whoever came up with that was a fictional writer. Okay, the heavens are where the stars are. The heavens are where the galaxies are. The heavens is the dark energy and the dark matter in which you see the darkness. That is the heavens. That is the true heavens. So somehow all this knowledge got mixed up into a false matrix, is what I call it. Like when you die and you think you're supposed to go to this pearly gates with pearls and Jesus and God and Saint Peter at the gate, and you close your eyes, and when you die your soul is looking for this place, and it might create it, you know, it might create this place, or this place might be created because it is, you know, imaginary, and thoughts become reality. So you might get to this fictional matrix of a heaven, and you might get in, you might say, oh, okay, this is where I want to be. Jesus, God, angels, pearls, gold. And then what? Then what are you going to do? Do you get a job in heaven? Do you have free will in heaven? Can you create anything there? You know, are you just going to sit there and sing church songs all day? Can you drink in heaven? Do you have any physical pleasures? Do you have any mental or spiritual pleasures in heaven? Or you just want to be in the same place as this God and Jesus, or whatever, Muhammad, or 72 virgins, or whatever your religion is? Okay, is this where you want to stay? I mean, haven't y'all ever seen that Twilight Zone episode where this man had like the perfect life, and he got sick and tired of it because it was too perfect, and he was like, I gotta get out of here. This is driving me insane. You know, once people wake up in that false heaven matrix and realize it's not real, then they're gonna start searching for something else. And if they choose to reincarnate back into this 3D plane of existence, they're gonna come in already not accepting the heaven or religion, because they know it doesn't lead anywhere but to another false matrix. So they're going to be looking for more answers, more truth, more substance, more spiritual knowledge. So this is why some people are naturally drawn to spirituality versus religion, because they've already been there and done that, and they're like, I'm done. So for people who have not experienced that, or if they forgot why they came here, and they didn't, you know, consciously say, okay, when I go back, I'm going to focus on spirituality, and they fall for the okie doke again and go to the false matrix of the heaven that's written about, of course they're going to try to convert you because they really think they're trying to help you. Okay, so it's kind of like, you know, you gotta kind of understand that they're going to try to convert you because they think they're doing their God a favor, and they're a missionary on their behalf, and it's going to earn them points to get into heaven, and they're booking the name of life, and blah 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 blah. So they're living conditionally, basically. They're doing stuff to score points when you're living on purpose to learn, to grow, so you can get out of the false matrix that they create for you when you leave. So the heavens is the dark energy, the ethers, the blackness that you see. That is the true heavens. Okay, because if you even read the Bible, it says in the beginning there was darkness, And if this is God, so-called God, the universe, source energy, coming into consciousness, or, you know, separating from consciousness, there's no clouds around him. So he's going to live on the stratosphere of Earth. Makes no sense. Okay? So, yes, the heavens is the dark energy. To return to the ethers, to return to the dark matter, to return to the source, is to go back into the darkness. Okay? It's not a light. They fool you, you know. It's a trick. Going towards the light is a trick. Going towards the darkness is the truth. And a lot of people will spend their whole life looking for the light, you know, this and that, and totally ignoring everything around them, because they're just so focused on what they were told to look for, instead of, like, if someone wanted to keep you under their control in a system to where they could use you, mold you, create the realities they wanted to create with your energy, they're not going to tell you the way out. I mean, they might let you figure it out for yourself and say, hey, you know, you have free will. If you can figure it out, you deserve to get out. If you can't, if you're just a follower and you keep listening to the same thing over and over, then that's your fault, and we're going to utilize and benefit from you in your ignorance. And one day when you get smart enough, wise enough to figure out that this is not the answer through many lifetimes, and you finally escape and get up out of here, then congratulations, you graduated. Thanks for your help. You know, it's not about good or evil. It's a test. It's all a test. All your past lives have led up to this life, and are leading up to the next life, and are leading up to a past life, because time is a spiral. Everything's happening at once. So what you can do is focus on that darkness, that dark energy, that dark matter. That is what holds all the information. Okay, you know, you can take knowledge from meditating and focusing on dark energy and dark matter. You can get omnipotent, all-seeing knowledge from all of your lives and all the consciousness that's going around you. A lot of magicians do this, but this takes years and years of practice. Like, I'm not even a pro at this. I'm just, you know, I'm not a master like some people are at this thing, you know. I'm just telling you that this is the way. You know, this is not the only way, but this is one of the ways. Okay, so when you're, you know, faced with someone that's over religious and they're trying to save your soul so you can get to heaven, you need to start asking them certain questions to open their mind. You don't automatically go on the defense. You say, okay, so what are the heaven? Where is heaven? Is it on earth? And I thought the heavens is what held the stars. And that heaven is darkness. Okay, that's dark. That's dark energy. That's the source energy. So, you know, you got to kind of like teach them while they're trying to save you. You just give them a little information and back up and see what they do with it. You know, a lot of people will get into arguments and stop talking to their family and friends due to their spirituality. But if you are knowledgeable enough to teach and back up and not get filled with ego that you know all of this stuff and they don't, they'll come and ask you questions. They'll be like, okay, well, I want to know more about that. You know, when you try to overpower someone's thoughts and beliefs, they're going to automatically push you away. You just got to give them little bits and nuggets to think about until they're thirsty or hungry enough to come to you and ask you, okay, tell me what's this all about, you know. And it's not about you turning them into this. It's about you letting them in on another level of consciousness. Okay, you don't have anything to benefit. You don't get points to go to heaven. You don't get 72 virgins. You don't get your name written in some book of life. Okay, you're doing it for the right reason. Basically, you're trying to help them escape. They're trying to do it to get points. They don't really care about you in that nature, unless they're like your mom and they really like fear for your soul. But most people who are trolling online, they don't really care about your soul. They're trying to get points. You know, they're trying to say, oh, well, I converted 5 Christians today. I mean, 5 people to Christianity today. I'm going to heaven for sure. Let me go smoke this crack. Let me go beat my wife. Let me go do this. I'm getting to heaven. I've converted 3 Christians, people to Christianity today. You know, they're working on point system, a grading system, a judgment system. They're not doing stuff for the right reason. Most of them. Most of the trolls. I'm saying the trolls. I'm not downing Christians. I'm just saying the Christian trolls, okay? So if you're working just out of the kindness of your heart that you want to bring people to a higher level of consciousness, then good for you. If they want to come, if they want to know more, if they want to ask you questions, you give them some books to read, give them some websites and videos to visit, and say, hey, you know, I'm glad that you're opening your mind. Don't say, I'm glad you see the light, or I'm glad that you got rid of that stupid religion. I'm glad you're opening your mind. Okay, this will make them feel like they're accomplishing something, and that they're learning something, and that it's a new experience. They're starting to see life in a whole new way. They're opening their eyes. They see like a child again. Everything is new. Things mean totally different things than they meant before. So, you know, don't try to push your spirituality on someone either, just as you don't want them pushing their religion on you. You know, just give them little bits and pieces and nuggets and see what they do with it, you know, if they ask you. But don't give away your knowledge freely, because if when something is given away free, it loses its value. Okay, we all know that. You know, whatever, so you see that meme on Facebook, oh, click here for free this and free that. You know it's not really free. You know there's a catch to it. You know there's a scam to it. You know there's something. You know it's not really free, right? Unless it says free sample, and you read in the comments and that says, oh, it really is a free sample. And then, you know, then you'll go get it. But it's a promotion. It's to make them money in the future. But what I'm saying is, don't just pour your knowledge out, you know, to people who aren't ready for it. You know, let them come to you and ask, you know, because if you're sitting there doing the same thing they are, they'll, what's the difference? There is no difference. Okay, so this is probably going to be my last video for 2015. And y'all remember, the heavens and heaven are 2 totally different things. When you say you're going to the heavens, back to the ethers, back to the dark energy, yes, you are. When you say I'm going to heaven, this fictional place written, that's a matrix, so don't get stuck there, okay? And the hell is too, y'all. Hell is the same thing as a heaven. It's just a matrix, and where you decide that you are supposed to go, depending on how many points you earned in life living under the condition of religion, okay? It's not something that's real. So remember, if you really want to go to the heavens, study your dark energy, study your dark matter, study your meditation, study how to visualize, how to create, how to become dark energy, which is a visualization technique, how to manifest in dark energy, how to be comfortable in the dark, that the light is not always the answer, that you need balance in this world. Not everything is all light, not everything is all dark. We are in between. Okay, that's why we have day and night. Okay, that's why we live in the world of duality. Once we master this, we can go here, we can go there, we can create this, we can create that, we can come back here, we can leave here, we can do all of that. We can help others get up out of here. We can then become the ones that control to keep people here. I mean, you can't judge people because you don't know who you're going to be in your next life, or who you were in your past life. You could be one of the ancestors of the people who are, you know, keeping the people in ignorance. Which is funny, you know. It's funny. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. And thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't. I will see y'all in 2016. Y'all have a safe, happy new year. Make sure you do all your New Year's manifesting, and I don't make resolutions, I just do manifesting. So make sure you do all your New Year's manifesting. Leave the past in the past. Don't drag old issues into 2016, and focus on what you want this year. Watch your back, because there are a lot of things that's going to go on this year. and make sure you're looking out for your family and yourself first and foremost. Okay? Thank y'all so much. Bye.